What is creativity? What is innovation?
Well, creativity is. Do I answer both at the same time?
Either way.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Creativity and innovation, I think, are both connected to the ability to work within and often invent constraints, in my opinion. This is what I thought of a lot, is that you, it's not this kind of platonic inspiration from above and you're this vessel that's just going to be filled. Instead, you create the vessel that's going to be filled by crafting yourself some sort of architecture into which to put your ideas. And so I think that having a scaffolding of that often you need to create yourself, or you adopt one like a sonnet or something. You're like, I'm going to write a sonnet. You learn all the rules, and now you have something to fill up with ideas. So I think that creativity and innovation are both basically recognizing forms, creating new forms, and being able to add to them or fill them up. I guess one last thought. I can't remember who it is. There's a poet who wrote a sonnet where she says, I will put chaos into 14 lines. And that's the idea, is you need the prison of a constraint that allows chaos to be contained and funneled into something. So creativity is managing chaos. There's my thought.
Okay.
Ta-da!
I like that.
Yeah.
How much of that is like 5 obstructions?
Yeah. It feels
Well,
very five obstructions, doesn't it?
it's
Yeah.
I mean, I used 5 abstractions, so I taught an entire course on creativity and constraints this spring, and so it's actually Oulipo. It's the French group invented in 1960 where they come up with constraints. Like they're in the business of making up, and there are thousands constraints. Like write an entire novel without the letter E. That was done. Not only was it done in French, which is the most common letter in French, but then some poor translator translated the entire thing also without the letter E.
Oh.
And it sounds like just a ridiculous thing to attempt, but what it actually was ends up being, it's called la disparition, the disappearance, and it ends up being about his Jewish family and the idea of what gets, kind of losing something, something vital. And
Was it good?
Yeah.
I have
Is it
it.
well received? Like,
Yeah.
well
Well, I mean,
reviewed?
that's the
outside
thing.
of this constraint idea, where like,
Does
yes,
it
you
make
can
good
do
art,
it.
or
Yeah.
does it just make crap?
No.
Yeah.
It was a really good, well-received novel.
Okay.
But the thing is, the group is known for like kind of gimmicks, in a sense, right? So another thing that I love that they do is they'll take an Alexandrine, is that how you say that in English? These are the lines of a French poem, like that they use in a sonnet, and they're 12 syllables long. So they do. What do you say? Alexandre greffé means like a graft. A grafted. They'll take 2 sonnets and split them in half, and then put them together again, because the actual form of the French sonnet is that there's a break at syllable 6. So you take 2 things, and the genius, right, is in the graft. How can you create this kind of Frankenstein sonnet out of 2 people, and then you even create their name? You like take the like Baudelaire and Rimbaud.
So you make a portmanteau of
becomes
the name.
becomes Baudelaire.
Oh.
And so there's just like there's so much you can do, and like right now I'm teaching class in honors where I make students who are in STEM fields write sonnets, but what I do is I have them take so we take something that the theme, so we're doing women is the theme this time, and so we take a famous woman poet and we use a sonnet that has meaning, and we borrow exactly her syllable structure and her rhyme structure, and now you have enough constraints that they're actually able to write it. And they wouldn't be able to write it if they didn't know this line has to end in an A sound, this line has to end in an E sound. And then they get a rhyming dictionary and they look up words, and they're amazed because they realize that it's like they thought you just had to be an inspired genius to write a poem, but in fact, it's just formulaic, And so you try and show them, once you see the structure that undergirds it, then, so that's the I mean, it's really cool. I think it's kind of, there's endless possibilities. Or one other example is there's a really famous one, Exercises in Style, where one of the founders of this Ulipo movement took the same boring story about a guy on a bus and his button was loose and told it 99 different ways. And then what you start to learn is that the story stays the same, but in telling it all those different ways, you realize that style is content, and teaches. And so a mathematician wrote a thing called 99 Proofs of a Theorem, and he did 99 ways of telling the same math theorem. And it's so cool because it makes me think that if I had taken a math class that did it the way that appealed to me, I might have actually done better in math.
Ah,
So yeah.
okay. That
Yeah.
is